Welcome back to Turning the Mirror podcast, and on the hot seat today is my brother Owuth Kaboko and myself, Olengo Bachi. Today we are having a look at a man who has seen betrayal, a man who has seen and has experienced a lot of torture, detention, has been exiled, and a man who has never resented in his resolve to fight for justice. This is a man who talks hard on any form of injustice and any form of betrayal. This is none other than the man with the same name twice, Miguna Miguna. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
You're doing well?
I'm doing great.
How much do you know Miguna Miguna?
Miguna, I know Miguna of so many things. You know, if you are in Kenya, you must have heard of this name and also felt it a little bit. Like just even in our recent history, like just going through politics and knowing everything, the affairs that are going across social media, anywhere in the talks of people's mouth. You know, this man, he's never far from controversy. He's known to be fearless and his messages are always unfiltered and unapologetic to the political firebrand. He has become one of the most searched personalities today globally. His confrontations extend beyond the boundaries of Kenya, taking on some of the most powerful figures in the world, including Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But before he took his battles to the international stage, he has played a pivotal role in Kenyan political landscape, including his controversial swearing in of Baba Raila Odinga as the people's president in 2018. That's here in Kenya. And according to Miguna, he was only betrayed when he did that, so that's what led to the failure of what he was doing then. And he's proud of what he did, and he says that he made history because he was standing for justice.
Yeah, he saw it, Raila Odinga, when Raila had won. And actually, Kenyans voted for him.
Yeah,
So
sure.
when you ask him why he supported Raila then, in as much as he calls Raila conman, he will tell you that, but the people voted for him. Now, another question would be, then how, Miguna has been in the political landscape for some time now, like in Kenyan history, all the way from campus life, I think.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of relationship has Miguna had with the political class, the political, like what kind of relationship has he had with the political class and the political heavyweights?
Yeah. You know, in Kenyan politics, Miguna has always been a thorn on the side of the political elite. In Kenya, we can even trace that from the likes of President Moi, and when he was in campus, when he say he was a student leader, when he flees us out of the country to maybe continue with his education in Canada, then to President Kibaki, Uhuru Kenyatta, and even the person who has been in the opposition leader of Kenya for so long, Raila Odinga, and his dramatic exile and eventual return to Kenya. His mission has always remained the same: to expose what he calls despotic regimes and those who enable these regimes in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when trying to, or which kind of criticism has he always posed when it comes to the political class, what is happening across the political divide? Like, what is his style?
Yeah, people are criticizing governments, but not as Miguna does it. You know, his style is about brutal honesty, a sharp tongue, and unwavering commitment to what he calls justice and revolutionary truth. If you've been on X recently, you likely seen his fiery posts tackling not just Kenyan leadership. It's deep into Kenyan leadership and even tackling the so-called global heavyweight. Yeah.
You've talked of Miguna concentrating on also the international heavyweights. Like, what is happening? Because you realize that some of our audience maybe might not be well conversant with what is going on, or maybe again they might have also received a block from the general himself, because you realize if you talk something, he looks at it and sees it as a joke, or maybe you don't want to be open-minded, he blocks you. So maybe they are not seeing what is going on. Take us, at least put us, keep us updated. What is
He
happening?
says that is his personal account, so he has the right to do whatever he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
And if you feel he's not doing the right thing, just leave his account alone. Do it, post it by yourself. Don't come into the comment section of his posts. And X is formerly what we knew as Twitter. You know, his recent social media posts have been outrageous and have gone beyond the border. That's very true. And even right now, he's talking a lot of things. And he's now set sights on two most influential figures, as I've mentioned, that is Donald Trump and even Elon Musk. And on February 8th, 2025, he directly addressed Trump and Musk on in a post referencing South African politics, highlighting land right issues and historical injustices that black South Africans have endured just from the apartheid rule in then days. It's just highlighted in history. He said that the two are racists and must stop lecturing Africans. And also on 10th February, Miguna had ramped up his attacks, this time linking Donald Trump and Musk and the Israeli Prime Minister, that's Benjamin Netanyahu, to what he termed white supremacist resistance against Africa's fight for own sovereignty. He particularly took issues with the opposition to South Africa's legal case against Israeli at the International Court of Justice, plus the land laws passed by the South African government. Additionally, he has commented on Trump's administration's sanctions on Canada's, particularly criticizing Trump's stance against the Prime Minister of Canada, that's Justin Trudeau. He labeled Trump as a delusional megalomaniac who use economic sanctions as weapons of intimidations rather than weapons used for diplomacy. Yeah.
What about the Kenyan politics, the Kenyan space? Has he left, or is he still continuing with his fight for what he feels is right? Like what is going on?
Yeah, you know, back home, Miguna has not slowed down anyway on his Kenyan critics either. He continues to call President William Ruto's administration, labeling his leadership as a continuation of deception and neoliberal exploitation. He remains one of the few voices challenging both the government and opposition, claiming that Kenya is run by cartels, not by leaders. He has also slammed Kenyan media, accusing them of failing to hold the powerful accountable, calling mainstream journalists as booklickers of the regime. His unfiltered nature has won him both fierce critics and loyal supporters who see him as one of the last voices of fearless political activism in Kenya.
So, he supported William Ruto in the 2022 elections. And then I think he turned against Ruto the moment he realized Ruto was not doing things the right way. Now, I would like to know, because if Miguna fights Kenyan government, which is doing the wrong, he fights the opposition, which he also feels is not playing its role. Miguna fights the international wars, like what is going on between Israel and the Palestinians. And is his activism, his attacks just political, or what is his intention?
People say that Miguna's attacks somewhat are personal, that maybe he has personal grudges with these people. Let's say Raila Odinga for the betrayal, he's not ready to forgive him, but he stands and says that he's just standing at the point of justice. We saw him, he was deported out of Kenya and he went all the way to Canada, and he was waiting till President Ruto got into government, and he allowed him to process his documents and return to the country. People believe that perhaps Ruto will give him a job, and maybe he will later continue working with Ruto. But Miguna saw this as not something that would work for him, and he was not ready to support William Ruto's government later on, because he said this man is a man of deceit. He's so deceptive, and he sold his deception about maybe he will be bottoming up those who are down. And Miguna says that this man has been just empowering cartels, not those who he claimed that he will support, like the law in the society, the Mama Mboga, the border, and such like people in the society. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want us to also have a look at now what is going on outside the country when it comes to himself. You've touched on what he said when it comes to one of the actually the two among the most influential people globally. That is Trump and Musk. So why is he like taking it on these two people that seriously?
Oh, his word specifically, when we refer to them, to be specific, he to Trump and to Musk, and he's called Trump a fraudulent businessman who conned his way into power and now runs from his own legal mess. And as for Musk, Miguna has accused him of turning Twitter into a playground for neo-colonialists who are there to find themselves as a play. They find Twitter, the space in Twitter, as a playground. They express their colonial mindset and everything, surprising the weak, like in this case the Africans, and also a platform for misinformation and the peddlers who extend information which are not right, misleading the whole world. Yeah.
What are some of the phrases maybe you might remember Miguna with? And like, what would you, if you hear this, you'd automatically think of Miguna Miguna?
Oh, yeah, he speaks in absolutes, maybe refusing to compromise in his beliefs. His signature phrases are like, come, baby, come. When he tells you, if you want to confront him, come, baby, come, we meet. He uses the word despot, like for William Ruto, for Raila Amolo Odinga. That is what he uses very frequently. When he sees something is wrong with you, that is one of the accusations he accuses you with. And also he calls mostly Raila Amolo Odinga conman, and he says this man has always played conmanship in Kenyan politics, in administration, even at the time he was the prime minister. And these are very unique to him in the political force and commentary. Yeah.
So if you look at Miguna Miguna and then look at other activists, what is unique about him?
What is unique about this man is that Miguna has refused to bow. Yeah, there has been several threats, yeah, and also what is passed through in the past times. He is always stand still. Yeah, you people will say that maybe he should also join government, get some job in the government, to be part of the government and support that government, but he's never been for that. Like he says with Raila Amolo Odinga that he has always compromised revolutions, like all the way back during 1982, during the attempted coup. Like he says Raila Amolo Odinga was part of this. He betrayed the comrades that he was with, and also everything that has been happening all this time through. And he also says from his time from campus in the University of Nairobi, he's never changed his stand. And he says and claims that he's always very truthful. And that is what people know of him. Yeah.
Okay. And he uses some of the phrases to support. Is there a phrase maybe he used to support that nature?
Yeah, he says, I will never retreat, I will never surrender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen Miguna Miguna playing his game both home and away, what is next for him?
Yeah, what's next for Miguna? People doesn't know. Nobody actually knows his interests, even in politics, not even in the Kenyan maybe politics, because he was to vie for Nairobi gubernatorial position, and people doesn't know, is he after the seat? And also said in a recent interview that he also thinks of presidency. A man of vision must always think of something bigger, and also that is getting to the international sphere of politics. We really don't know where he's headed to, or is just an activist who is here to stay as an activist, or maybe has personal or political interest. And we also asking the questions that now that Miguna is getting to the big men, the billionaires, the people who control the better part, so many things in the world, their voice matters a lot. And now we really don't know that will this be an opportunity that these people will now bring him down, that he will be pinned down, and also will join up with his opposition and enemies to pin him down. We really don't know what comes next, but we're waiting to see. Yeah.
And what is one thing that is sure?
One thing we are very sure of is that Miguna isn't backing down any soon. And as long as there is corruption, deception, and oppression, expect him to keep firing from all the cylinders.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is it we have for you today. And what do you think of Miguna Miguna? This is a man many people know, a man who is a household name. Actually, even the young people who are just born yesterday, even the Gen Alpha who have already started knowing a few things. If you talk about Miguna Miguna, they'll relate with him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What do you think? On our own behalf here and on behalf of those behind the camera, the technical team, we are very grateful for you always being with us and watching this content. Please take your time, subscribe, like, share, comment. Leave us your comment so that we know your thoughts. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. My name is Kwach.